Let the Halloween DIYs begin. Yeah. Woo, woo. Hi guys. All right, so for today's DIY, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna be using. So you're gonna need one of these little wire forms. I picked this one up at the Dollar Tree. Also, I have 3 of these deco mesh. Now I don't know if I'm gonna need all 3 of them, but I did pick up 3 just in case, you never know. And these are from the Dollar Tree as well. And I'm gonna use some pipe cleaners. So I picked up this at the Dollar Tree as well, but I picked it up around Valentine's Day. I just need the white pipe cleaners. And then I also picked up this little piece of felt at Walmart, and this one was 23 cents. So you're also gonna need some black yarn, and it has to be black. And also the felt has to be black. But you're gonna pick this up. I already had some of this at the house, and you can get them at like Walmart for $1 or maybe under $1. And then this is optional, some white paint. Optional, you don't have to have that. We're also gonna need a glue gun and some scissors. All right, so let's get started with this DIY. So I'm trying to keep this DIY as cost effective as I possibly can. You can use better mesh if you want than this dollar store brand. And you could use better materials. I'm just giving you an idea of what I'm going to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it white, this form right here. You don't have to do this. Again, this is why I said this paint is optional. I'm just gonna do it because this mesh, I don't know if it's gonna be thin enough where you're gonna be able to see through the wire form or not. I'm just gonna go ahead and paint it. You don't have to paint it, okay? So I'm gonna go right outside and paint this. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint this. Make sure you cover your area that you're gonna be painting. And just give it some nice easy coats. Okay, so now we're gonna let this dry. It doesn't have to be completely perfect, and you don't have to do the back. All you need is the front. So I'm gonna let this dry and then we'll move on to the next step. So as you can see, I already spray painted the wire form. Hey guys, okay, so let me tell you guys that this mesh, I started filming this tutorial with this mesh here, and I realized that this mesh is not gonna work for this project. I'm sure this mesh works in other projects, but not for this one. So I had to go to Hobby Lobby and buy the bigger mesh. This one was 50% off, so I got it for $5. I'm still trying to keep it as cheap as I possibly can. I'm not gonna show you how I was using this mesh and how bad it looked. You know, we could just skip all that and then just start with this mesh here. Okay, so let's get started again with this tutorial. Okay, so what I wanna do is I wanna grab my mesh, and I'm going to bunch it up, grab it from one corner to the other, and just start scrunching till I meet in the middle. I'm going to put right here, in this end here, I'm going to put my mesh on the very outside of this wreath. And not my mesh, my pipe cleaner. And then, see right there, like this. And I am going to go ahead and stir my mesh into that. Just like this. Don't worry about the back. Then I'm gonna scrunch it. And kind of curve it a little. And then I'm gonna go ahead and bring it down to this part right here, and then put another pipe cleaner again in the very first part of the wire form, just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and secure my mesh to that. So it looks like this, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it around and bring it back. Scrunch it and bring it back to the top here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add another pipe cleaner. And you want it to overlap a little. It's kind of like making a pumpkin wreath. You know how you bring it up and down, up and down? Well, that's what we're gonna be doing right now. Just going up and down, up and down. Secure your pipe cleaner here. And then go ahead and I'm gonna tie it off. And then we're gonna do the same thing again. Now we're gonna bring it down. We're still not cutting the mesh. We're just bringing it down. Basically, you're just going up and down, up and down, up and down, and then just securing, just like that. Keep doing that all the way around, all the way till you get to the end. Twist as I make this, as I bunch this mesh up here, I kind of curve it to the side, so it goes around. It contours the side of the wreath, the shape of it. There we go. So again, as you're going on the side here around, just kind of round off your mesh. I'm not using the whole pipe cleaner. I'm cutting it in half. You don't need the whole pipe cleaner. Now this mesh is just as thin as this mesh here. The difference is that with this mesh, I couldn't do this to it. It wasn't wide enough. That's the only reason why I couldn't use that mesh. But it's just as thin as that one. So I'm gonna use the one pipe cleaner to secure both of these sides of the mesh. Can you see? Okay. I'm just gonna open this one back up and put this one in there. Now I'm more than likely gonna glue down these pipe cleaners to the wire form because they are moving around a lot. But this is what you want pretty much. Got to kind of try to fluff it out and try to, now you're gonna try to, it needs to kind of look like a pumpkin. And I might end up gluing these together down here. All right, and then you can go ahead and cut your mesh off. Don't need that anymore. See, so it looks like this. Keep fluffing your mesh out so it kind of looks roundish. This would be the time to glue your pipe cleaners so they don't move around on you, if you want this to be permanent. If not, then you know, you could just leave it like that. So I decided to glue the back. I'm trying to make the front kind of flat so you can go ahead and glue your eyes. Just be careful on this part because you will burn your fingers like I have. That's why I'm using the pin to kind of try to hold down my mesh. You're kind of trying to fold it in. See, I glued it right here. The back you're not gonna see. You see how the front looks right there? Woo! Ah, there was some hot glue there. I burned my finger. But you're trying to get it to look somewhat flat. And if you have to roll your mesh around, woo! My goodness, I'm hitting some hot spots. Owie. All right, so that's why I was using my pen to hold it down. Just so I can keep this down in the back. Somewhat, let's put some more of this glue, just so I can hold it down. And so do it on this side and then on this side, and then just keep playing with your mesh until it's somewhat flat in the front, so you can put your eyes on your jack. Just be careful not to burn yourself like I have All right, so let me finish gluing this and then we'll glue the eyes on. So now we're gonna use this felt to make his eyes. If you don't wanna do a Jack Skelington wreath, then you can kind of put up here a little greenery to make it look like a pumpkin, like a white pumpkin. I'm gonna use a paper. I always like to use a sheet of paper to draw my eyes before I actually cut into my felt. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm just using an index card. And matter of fact, let me move this way. Okay, I'm just gonna draw. Draw your eyes however you want. I like that. I'm gonna cut this eye out and then I'm gonna go ahead and place it right on top of my wreath and see if I like the shape, if I like if it's big enough. I always like to make a template. That way I don't cut into my other materials and ruin them and then I have to go out and buy some more. Okay. There's my eye. And you know what, guys? I think I like that. I like the way this eye came out. I'm just gonna go ahead and put my template right on top here on the felt. Okay, so before we glue anything down, I'm just putting my eyes on my wreath and trying to figure out the distance and how I want to do this. And now with our yarn, we're gonna go ahead and cut up like the nostrils, just a couple little pieces for the nostrils. Let's see. This will be up to you on how big you cut, again, your nostrils and all that other stuff. So let's see. It's a little difficult because it is mesh and it's kind of lumpy, but we're gonna try our hardest to make it look like Jack. Let's see. And then for the mouth, we just use your yarn. And then you're gonna cut little strips of the yarn for the stitches. So you know what let's see. Different sizes, big, small, doesn't matter. Different size. The thing with DIYs, they don't have to be perfect. You know they're not going to be perfect because they're homemade. But that's what makes them so special. At least I like homemade stuff because it makes me feel that somebody took the time to make something for me. Or I know I made it and it was labor intense and all the trial and error. For me, I can appreciate it a little more. So that's basically what we're going to be doing all the way till the end of the mouth. All right, so let me stand up and see how I like this guy. And actually, you know what? Let me think of how you're going to hang him. Keep playing with however you want your Jack Skelington to look. Eyes pointing up a little. Okay. I think I like that. Let me see. Let me kind of try to. Yeah, I do. I like that. Okay. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and glue my eyes. You can use, if you don't want to use a glue gun, you can use some just regular white glue. I'm gonna go ahead and use my glue gun. I'm impatient like that. Just be very careful when you're gluing because hot glue really hurts. Alright. This is just an idea of what you can do. You can do, you know, pretty much whatever you want, however you want. And the way I did mine, you don't have to do it exactly like I did it. If you have an easier way of doing your wreath, then go for it. I'm just gonna put glue on my yarn. Use a pen or something so you don't burn yourself when you're doing this part. Keep going all the way, okay? And then I'm gonna finish gluing on his stitches and then I'll be right back. So this is what your Jack Skelington wreath should look like. And if you wanted to take it a step further, I have from this row here, I have this little tube left over. And what you can do is you can either spray paint this or even use some white felt, cut this, and you don't need the whole entire thing, and then glue it at the bottom like a neck, and then use a bow, which I'm probably gonna do that. And let's see, it would be right there. Then I'm using this ribbon that I already had there. And then I'm just going to, just pretty much, you can do just a little bow, like a bow tie. Even though he doesn't have a bow tie, he has, you know, the spider, or not the spider, the bat on here, see, like this. But, you know, you can make a bat if you want and put it on there. And then you can just glue it on there, and then that'll be underneath his neck. Just like a regular little bow. Like that. So yeah, that's what that looks like. I didn't come up with this idea. I've seen this before, so I didn't come up with this idea. But I wanted to give it a try and share it with you guys. So this is what it would look like. I hope I explained it well. If not, I am so sorry, but there are other tutorials that will show you how to do this type of, but in the pumpkin form. But basically it's the same exact concept. So I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna put the neck onto my wreath. I just spray painted this roll, and I would prefer to have used some of the felt, the white felt, but I didn't have any. So I just spray painted it. But what we're gonna do, if you wanted to do the neck, then you would glue it in the center. Let's see if you can see right here. Okay, you would glue this on the center of the neck. Oops. You would glue it on the center, like that, right here. Okay, that would be his neck. And then I just did a little bow, haven't cut it. And then you would glue that bow a little lower than, so that way you could see. Then you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and use this pipe cleaner to tie it on the neck here. Just exposing some of the neck, so you could see that he has a neck. You can glue it. Alright, it's still wet. That's why I would prefer to have dang it. Okay. Do you see how that would look? Just like that. Do you see how it looks? glue it right there. Let me cut this real quick. All right, so I'm just gonna grab some glue and just put a little bit of the glue right on the top of the neck. And then just go ahead and glue it, hoping I get the right part. Hope I get it right in the center. Yep, it's the center. And I'm just gonna hold it till it gets on there. You can add more glue so it'll stick. Okay, so while the neck is drying, I went ahead and I just cut the ends of my ribbon, just dovetailed them. So in the middle, right here, you can leave it just like this if you like. You can add a spider, you can add a little bat, you can add whatever you want to the middle, or just leave it plain the way it is. But I'm gonna go ahead and wait. I'm waiting for this to dry, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this around the neck. So I got a little spider that I'm gonna go ahead and just glue right in the center of my little bow that I have for my Jack Skelington. The neck is a little loose. I don't know if I like that. There he is. He's done. I think I could maybe glue the neck a little more, maybe right in here. So just glue it to the frame, somewhat to the frame as well as the mesh. I'm just holding it till it dries. So there's our Jack Skelington. I'm gonna go ahead and put him on the door so you can see what he looks like. So this is what it looks like when it's done. I wanted to show you right here. This piece here is just basically part of the ribbon when I cut out the edges. And it looks like this, and then I just glued it like around like that. And that's what I did with that. So it wouldn't look so raw, the edge here from the spool that I used on there. But yeah, this is what it looks like. Use your imagination when you do yours. You don't have to do it exactly like mine. And I hope you like this tutorial. I hope you like the way it came out. Thank you for watching, guys.